death of the guitar luthier. Or just the luthier, per se. Not
That's redundant.
literally, but figuratively. Maybe metaphorically. Maybe the whole thing. Stay tuned. Hear what we're rambling about now. It's me, Baxter.
And Jonathan.
Okay, so we've noticed a rapid decline in luthiers out there.
It's true.
And we have customers come in from all over the country, call us asking for luthiers in their area, in their region, and there's not as many as there used to be.
It is kind of wild. I'm talking about states away. Like, do you happen to know anybody? And usually the answer is no. But, yeah.
We have a nice gentleman in this shop today who was just talking about trying to get his refret for his brothers who passed away. Is that phone? Is that phone, right?
Yep.
And the prices he was quoting us from up in Jersey were so much higher than they are down here.
A ton.
Insanely higher. Because like services are just a different thing. And so he might actually bring his guitar down here and get it luthiered here, which is crazy.
I mean, we're not in a huge area, but we're pretty fortunate. We've got a couple great options right around us.
We do. And then we got Sean that lives in the shop.
Who is,
Call him the guitar troll.
pretty fantastic at the things he does.
He's like one of the trolls
Sort of
from guitar troll land.
like a troll. He puts troll dust. Off fairy dust. Troll dust.
No, but our friend that's down here from Jersey, he's I think he told me what his job is, but I think he's actually just he's like sort of I wouldn't call it an exotic masseuse, but sort of like in that line of work.
That's the ballpark. That universe.
That's all I'm gonna say. But it's really cool meeting him. He likes to work out in detail too. He's got the muscles. He's got the gun show going on. No, it's tricky now in today's day and age too. We find this more interesting because so many of the manufacturers now have started going direct. So they sell without the guitar shops, and that's always been sort of your last stop, your safeguard of like, is the guitar even workable? Because there are some guitars that are complete duds that we get that have to go straight back. Then they're built wrong. There's major structural issues. No luthier can fix it. It has to be scrapped. But let's say we get a guitar. It's a great guitar, but we know it needs a proper setup.
Right.
Translation Gretsch. A lot of the time too. Like they do. They need a good setup. I love Gretches.
Almost I would say that's the most consistently in need of one, right?
Well, yeah, just because there's so many operating parts. It's like Gretsch is like the most similar to a helicopter. Yeah. Once you put the big spiel in there and just the way it's set with like the vintage build of the neck, and it's just a bridge floating. It just does its thing. Hey, I'm wherever you want to be today. It needs a proper setup sometimes before it goes out. And, restringing your Gretsch can be a Herculean effort for someone who's not used to it. It's not that hard.
But
if it's your first guitar, you think, God, I might as well have gotten a Floyd Rose. Those look so easy. And then you're like, oh, I should get a Gretsch. No, they need it. PRSs for the most part are pretty darn good. But they need a little bit tweaking down there at the bridge sometimes. Just get a little slaggier.
Yeah,
slaggy,
of course.
No, but now that manufacturers have gone direct, a lot of them, it's beholden upon. Like if you get a guitar direct from a manufacturer, you should make sure you have a luthier nearby. And I would recommend a proper setup. If you get that guitar, you don't totally love it, but there's something about it you love, I would take it there.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. You know what I mean? Here's the weird conundrum, right? Like let's say that this going direct thing goes well for the manufacturers.
Okay.
And guitar stores close more and more, like smaller shops. Not like us. I feel like lots of people go to places like us, even if the luthier's not there to connect with the luthier, right? Like, because I can remember back to my, sort of early playing days. It's pretty much exclusively until I moved to Nashville, maybe. I didn't know any like just outside luthier. Like I was going to a shop, and that's where the guy who worked on guitars was. Do you know what I'm saying?
We have a lot of people come in here, and then we can do a quick tweak. We have, and
then we got
guitar. We have proper setup to do like major work if we need to, or semi-major work.
And then we got a guy that is just a standalone luthier named Dan, who is fantastic. That we, if
he does all the
beyond us, we send it to him. Your bridge came off of your vintage Gibson acoustic. Yeah, we're gonna probably send it to him.
Tate,
we got race something. But so like it's kind of funny, like the scenario you're talking about where you more need a luthier is the same scenario that is probably killing off the places you would find.
So let's take this mental exercise further. Let's say all like indie shops go away.
Yep.
And we know like some of the major guitar shops have notoriously spotty luthier records.
Also true, yeah.
The spotty, like it's, and unfortunately, hey, I love some of the big ones. Like I was at GC the other day. I love going there. I still, I was like, don't get me wrong, I was depressed this last time because it was sort of a horror show. That's another story.
Well,
love the video.
GC is called the GC Garage, and it's just a crapshoot. Sometimes those guys are fantastic.
You have some amazing techs there,
but they're gonna fill that spot. So whether or not they got a qualified tech, you know what I mean? Like, who knows? Like some of my friends were guys at GC Garage, really good, and if you took your guitar to them, you were lucky and you got great work. But
then every once in a while, you got someone like me sitting next to him on the bench, like
where's the string going? I don't know. Yeah. So,
and we're just learning still, and you're going to learn on your guitar. That's just how it is. So you got to be careful there. But with the idea, let's say all indie shops go away.
Gone.
There's only the few of the big boxes left, only in major markets. So what happened? And luthiers people aren't learning that skill. And it's a great skill. It's a great job. It pays really well. It's fun to work on guitars for the most part. But if there's no there, are they going to work a program where you have to send your guitars back to the manufacturers to get them tweaked? Because it's such a small thing sometimes.
Surely it'd be a quick turnaround, quick for us.
That was sarcasm. At first I thought you were serious. I was like,
it'd be so fast and easy.
No, even some of my favorite techs, like Hanson and Crawford up in Durham, North Carolina, they're some of the best in the entire, I'd say not just the state, but the entire Southeast. Wonderful guitar techs. If you need anything done and you're in the Durham, Raleigh, Carrboro, Chapel Hill metro area, just go see these people. Their wait list might be obscene at this point, but whatever.
I'm sure it is.
It's worth it. But no, they were like Fender techs for a while. And I think some other stuff, and they gave that up because like they were dealing so much with just like setting up Squires.
Right.
And like the amount that they could charge Fender for that is so low, and their time wasn't worth that at that point.
Right.
And so like, even like the great luthiers don't have time to work on those pieces. So we could be creating this magnificent drought of being able to repair your guitars. Ooh. Maybe that's the plan though, because then the manufacturers make them will be like, your guitar doesn't work anymore. You just have to get time to get a new one, just like your iWatch or Apple Watch, whatever. Your whenever. Is that how Teslas work?
Yeah, you just drive into the landfill and you go get a new one.
Okay, cool,
great, batteries and all.
My car's trash. I keep driving mine, so I got like 180,000, almost 200,000, I think on my own.
That's a Tesla hate for that comment. I'm mostly kidding. I'm sure it's a great idea.
You're just anti-Tesla because you don't like America.
That's right.
I don't know what that means.
I'm a commie. You know me.
I just part of me still like wants a Tesla because I think they're cool and they're spaceship.
It is cool. And like spaceship, kind of like futuristic.
Maybe it's like super inexpensive to have too. Like, I mean, gas-wise, you don't pay for much gas anymore. And they don't, I hear they don't break that often. But when they do break, it's probably a serious break-in.
I'm sure
you can't really fix them like in the same way you can fix a car.
I mean, if it was like the kind of thing where like, the wheels like did this and then it flew, that'd be amazing. Then I'd want one. Like that would be the future.
So Elon Musk is a big watcher of this channel, so he's probably watched that. He's like, notes. They want flying wheels.
He's like, those rascals talking about my Teslas again.
And speaking of Rascal Flatts, they're big fans of this channel too, so they're probably a bank. Man, we gotta write our next song about the flying cars from Tesla.
It's we gotta say a casino
Teslas. We're doing a collaboration with Tesla and Rascal Flatts.
Winning big in the casino, so you buy a fleet of Teslas.
I mean, that would be awesome.
And then when one dies,
I did see a guy, he bought a lottery ticket from a guy at a convenience store. That's made me happy. Sorry, I'm diverging for a minute. I apologize.
No apologies for me.
He bought a lottery ticket. It popped on my feed. It made me happy. The guy was like closing up the convenience store, but he bought it. It was like a $50 scratch off.
Okay.
And then the guy came back like the next week. He was like, hey, he's kind of give him a high five like that. It's $500 in his hand. He's like, what are you doing? I was like, I won. He's like, how much you win? He's like, you'll find out. But he gave the clerk $500 that sold it to him. I think that's solid. That's what you're supposed to do.
That is being good.
That's like a mini version of Dolly Parton without the gorgeous personality. That she has so much for the kids with all of her book programs and just like everything she did, during the fires and the mountain areas a few years back when she gave everybody $10,000.
Yep.
It's like out of her own. She's writing checks.
Yep.
Every minute of her life. And writing checks with those nails is difficult.
Very, very tricky.
She could probably dip her nail in ink and go.
I bet she's very good at that. just like playing the guitar with his nose.
And if you haven't been to Pirates Voyage in Myrtle Beach, Dolly Parton's sort of the owner of that as well. It's amazing. Yes. Amazing. If we're ever there together, we'll have to go see that show again. I've seen it like 4 times at this point. And the best is the Christmas show.
Okay.
Because then they do the Pirates thing and then they bring baby Jesus in it somehow. It's like Pirates and baby Jesus. The best.
It sort of makes me happy in every way. But
it's like the Barbie Oppen Barbie, whatever they call it.
Barbenheimer or something like that. I don't know.
I just went to Oppenheimer. I didn't have time to go see
Barbie.
I'll see Barbie when it streams. So if you do, okay, jumping back to luthiers. Sorry, got a little distracted there. It took longer than I thought. If you do want to be a luthier, there's obviously lots of options. You go like sort of the school program things. The best way is though, get a job at a guitar shop
and start doing it.
You will learn quickly, or you won't, and you'll be fired. But you'll
the apprentice method,
It is. That's the best way to do it. You'll get paid to learn it on the site. You'll have the skill. You can do it outside the guitar shop eventually. You can actually make a career of it if you love this, or it's a great retirement gig too.
Well, I mean, there's so many good. I mean, I know, like you said, there's so many cool YouTube videos. Like I watch a lot of the Stu Mac videos, how they do things, and then if you can sort of have hands on as you're doing that, pretty good way to get into it, man. I mean,
one of the craziest old coots that don't read that. I'm just talking about the craziest old coots that I know. His name is Larry. He drives trucks. He's a good friend of ours. But that dude he's got like the butter fingers when it comes to that's a compliment. I know I heard like butterface later in life. I didn't know it was an insult until like way later. But he has these fingers, like he can really set a guitar up great. He can. He's great at setting a guitar. He's insane as like, the sky is blue, which he's really not. He's a good friend of ours. That's why I call him insane. But he's a great setup artist. That'd be something like it's a great retirement gig, I was thinking.
Yeah.
Like when you finish up everything you're doing.
You get to see a lot of cool guitars, probably. Bringing guitars to you.
But I think that's kind of it, though. So like it's a scary time right now. So if you're thinking about getting into it, you're gonna be able to corner the market. I highly recommend it. It's like a thing. If you want to do something different, step here in Luthier shop in like a proper area where there's enough people to service.
Do it now. Get your experience now. Gotta have experience now.
We're gonna wrap it up with a wee little story my dad was telling me earlier. A dog and a cat were having an argument about which one was loved more by the owner.
Okay.
And so the dog goes, well, I'm obviously loved more because humans have named the canine tooth a body part after me. And the cat says, you're not going to win this argument. You get it? It took me a minute to get that too. Don't worry about it. We're going to leave that one, let that sink in a bit. But thanks for joining us. It took me a minute too.
Okay. All right. I'm sure it's gonna sink in.
You'll be like,
so funny.
That's either funny or it's not. I think it's hilarious once you realize the joke. But everybody else that got it immediately will be like, wow, we're just idiots. It took me a minute to get it too. Help us, God. Sorry, Derek, I had to throw that in there. I need therapy. Peace be with you all. Like and subscribe.
Hit the bell.
Yonder forth. Strange aliens.
So strange.
Cats.